This is Mike from Minimal 3DP, and in one of my last videos, we set up to have multiple instances of Klipper, Octoprint, and Mainsail on Ubuntu server. What we didn't finish during that install was setting up webcam support. So in this quick tutorial, I'm going to walk you through how to set up MJPEGStreamer so that you can have webcam support for your various instances. Basically, MJPEGStreamer lets you have a URL for your camera stream. And if we look at this instance of Octoprint, and I go over to webcam and time lapse, you'll notice that it's asking for a stream URL and then a snapshot URL. And so what we'll need to do is MJPEGStreamer will basically create these URLs, and it'll take a couple steps to get there. So first thing we want to do is let's go over and SSH into our server. Okay, so I'm SSH'd into my server, and I've also gone ahead and connected 2 webcams to my server as well. So I have those plugged into the USB ports. I'm going to go ahead and type in this command, and this will be in the video description as well. And you'll notice that it's listing 4 video connections. Actually, there's only 2, and the way it's working on my system is video 0 and 1 are the first camera, 2 and 3 are the second camera, and for all intents and purposes, what I've been doing is just using dev video 0 and dev video 2 as I move forward. So just make note of what your cameras are. Now, you should also know that if you add more cameras or change the cameras around, it's possible that these will change which video they're connected to, so you want to watch that. I did a search online trying to figure out how to set all this up, and I found this GitHub repo for installing it for multiple instances when you're using Docker. We're not using Docker, but I found that these processes all work the same. So we're just basically scrolling all the way to the bottom here. We're just going to enter in all these commands. The first set of commands installs the prerequisites in case you don't have them on your system. So we'll just copy that first command and then switch over to our terminal and paste it in. I already have it installed, so I'm good in that regard. So then we'll go back over and we're going to go ahead and copy the code over. Okay, so now the code is on my machine. And what I'm going to start doing now is actually building this extension. Yeah, so we've run all our commands, and now let's actually see if we can get a stream up and rolling. The streamer's been built on my machine, and it's ready to go. So now let's actually test a stream and see if it's working. Now, if we look at the GitHub repo, there's a sample line of code here for running the streamer. And if you look through it, you'll notice that it's run on port 8090 right here. So let's just copy this. We're going to copy that whole line of code, and then we'll go over and we're going to put it in our terminal. We're going to do sudo and then just paste the line of code in and hit enter. And so right now it's running, and it's run on dev video 0, which is my first webcam, and it's on port 8090. So let's go back over to Brave, and I'm going to open up a new window, and I'm going to do, let's go to 8090. So you'll notice it's bringing it up. So that's good. And if I hit stream, and here's my camera sitting right here next to me. So my camera is running. So this is good. So we have that stream going on port 8090. But if we look over at our terminal, it's only running when I'm running the command in the terminal. If I close this terminal, it's going to shut down and it won't be available. So what I'm going to need to do is set this up as a service. So I'm going to set this up to be a service, so that way every time the machine starts, this stream starts. And in fact, I'll have to set up multiple streams for my multiple camera. I mentioned I have 2 cameras. So what I think I'm going to do is do a camera on 8090, and then I'll do a camera on 8091. So let's go ahead. I'm going to hit Control C on my keyboard, and that'll stop things. And then let's get set up. And what I'm going to do is create a service. So let's take a look. And just to show what I'm talking about, I've stopped the service here in my terminal. If I go over to my browser and hit refresh, it's no longer running. And what we need is we need it to actually be running in the background all the time. So that way, whenever we're using the printer, the camera is available. So we'll go ahead and set that up. I found this explainer online on how to create a startup scripts. And so I'm just going to use this as the basis for the startup scripts I need to run my cameras. So let me go ahead and we'll walk you through this. Over in my terminal, I'm going to type in sudo nano, and I'm going to call this video 0.service. Okay, and that's going to open up a plain text file. And then I'm going to go ahead and let's look at the code, the example over here on our tutorial. And what I'll do is I'm just going to hit copy, and I'm just going to use all their code, and then I'll rearrange things. So I'm just putting that in. Now, the way this is working here, this up the top here, this unit, this is telling this when to start. Right now, this is starting after the network target. We're going to change that real quick. And then here's the script that's going to run under the service, and then this install. And what we need to change is the when it's going to start, and then also the script it's going to hit. And we need to create both. Now, the easiest thing to do is go over to, I did a previous video on installing Cockpit so you can see what services are running on your server. And I'm going to use Cockpit to look for some service names. So I've opened up Cockpit, and I'm going to scroll down here. And I have a lot of services running. And there's Octoprint. So what I'm going to do is I actually want my my services, my new service for my camera, to start after the Octoprint services. I feel like that's the best way to do this. That way I know the printer stuff is running. Everything should fire off in the correct sequence. Okay, so back over in Terminal, I'm going to navigate up here and delete network target. And I'm just pasting in Octoprint -cr6se.service. So this service won't start until after that service starts. And again, I'm doing that so that way at least I know the printers are going. And I'm going to change this to video 0.sh. And I'm going to create this script next. To make my life easier, I'm going to go ahead and copy this path here. So I have that. And right now, I'm satisfied with the way this service looks, so I'm going to hit Control X, and then yes, I want to save. yes, I want to save it as is. And there we go. So now I'm going to do sudo nano, and I'm going to paste in that that script I just put in the service. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and put in what I need here in order to run the cameras. So we'll go ahead over and we're going to go back over to the browser and let's copy this line of code again. And we'll go ahead over to the terminal and paste it in. Now you'll notice it's one long line of code. Now we want to go over into here and we want to type in -d and dev/video 0. That way this starts on video 0. So that's all correct. And then right now this resolution, that does not look correct to me. So we'll look over at the browser and see. Okay, so I've gone over to the known cameras to work with, MJPEGStreamer. And I'm going to scroll down here because I know what type of camera I have. And I'm using one of these N5 cameras. So I want it at 1920 1080. So I'm going to copy that and then go back over to my terminal. Paste that in. And the frame rate is 10, which was correct. So everything there looks good. So now we're going to hit Control X again and yes to save as is. Now our next step will be to change the permissions on these files. So we're going to go ahead and let's go over to the browser and scroll down here. And so we have these two. We need to set the permissions on the files. So I'm going to copy and then go over here to the terminal, paste that in, and I'm going to do video 0.sh. Okay, and then we'll do this set in, and we do video service. What's video 0? I'm sorry, video 0. So our permissions are right. Now we'll go ahead and start the services and make sure they're working. So I've started the services. So they're up and running. Now to verify that, let's go back over to our browser and let's take a look at Cockpit. And we'll run a refresh. Now I might actually have to still start this. Let's see, it should be down in video 0. Oh, it's not running. So let's click on it. And we have a format error. So we need to go ahead and fix that. So let me fix that and I'll show you what I did wrong. I made a simple mistake. So let's go over here to our terminal. We'll fix it. Done. Forgot to add this line in here to tell it's a bash script. So let's just try. Oops. Let's go back and And let's try, let's go back over to Brave and go back over to Cockpit. And our service is running. So now if we go back over to http://28090. So I need a colon here. So there's our camera. As I mentioned, we have multiple cameras connected. So let's go ahead and set up all our cameras as an individual service. And that way we can then go in and connect in Octoprint and as well as in Mainsail. So what I'm going to do, easiest thing to do, I think, is I'm going to go ahead and open up my, here in the terminal, open up a Nano, the Video Zero service. So let's hit that. I'm going to go up here, and I actually want to make this a new service. So I'm going to put this as Video 2 as my second camera. So I'm going to hit X, and yes, I want to save. And now I'm going to go in here and edit this name. That way, Video 2. Hit enter. Yes. And then let's go ahead and open up the script. So we'll open up the script. We need to make a change here. Now, as we looked at earlier, we had the other camera was dev video 2. So let's go ahead and change that. And we can't running on the same port. It needs to be running on a different port. So the first camera, video 0, is on 8090. We'll put video 2 on 8091. Control X. And then let's go ahead and change this to video 2.speech. And do we want to save as a different name? Yes, we do. There. So now we have a second service created as well as a second script. The only thing we need to do now is change those permissions. So let's go ahead and put that code in. Pasting that in. And this for the script, so we'll do video sh. That changed the permissions for that. Then let's change the permissions for the service. So it's video 2.service. There we go. And now let's go ahead and start the service via the command line to load it in. So I have my two commands I need to enter here. Let's do that command. And then the other command from our explainer is as follows. There we go. So that is set up. Now, just to check things, let's go over and take a look at Cockpit. Now, this says it's not running, but let's go ahead and click on video 2. And we'll click here and hit start. And everything looks good here. So that's good. And let's go over here. And this is looking at 8090. We put this new one on 8091. So let's change the there. And there we go. So there's my other camera. So literally now I have two cameras running, and in order to make everything work, all I need to do is paste these URLs over into Mainsail and Octoprint. So let me show you how to do that. So I've gone ahead and opened up Mainsail and gone over to the settings and webcams, and I'm just go ahead and add webcam. And this is for my Ender 3v2. And now I need to change this URL. So what I need to do is I'm going to delete this section right there. I'm going to leave the end on. And I'm going to type in http:// the name of my server, colon, and then camera is going to be 8091. Yeah. And since I have that, I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And paste it down here. And as you can see, my camera's showing up. Frame rate is 10. So let's just make sure that matches. Let's save this. Close it. My webcam is now showing up. So let's go over to Octoprint now. And so here I'm looking in Octoprint, and I'm going to click on Settings and Webcam. And I need to paste in the URL. I'm going to hit test. That's correct. Scroll down to snapshot. Put that in. Test. Works. Now, here's my path I need for FFmpeg. That is /user/bin/FFmpeg. And I'll go ahead and hit test. The path is valid. Hit save. And when I hit control here, there's my webcam. So as you can see, you can go ahead and add in these webcams. Now, the only other thing you need to do is as you add cameras to your system, you need to make sure you update your services and your scripts to reflect the new camera, and update the port, and then update the dev/video, and then whatever video number you're using. And you need to update those in both your script and your services. And now I've also found that if you start unplugging cameras, replugging them back in, you need to take a look at what the camera is showing just to make sure everything's, you're pointing that the camera names haven't changed or paths haven't changed. But once you have it all set up, you should be good. So again, hopefully you'll find this tutorial helpful. My name is Mike, and this is Minimal 3DP. Again, in this video, we went over how to set up streaming cameras for your instances of Octoprint, Klipper, and Mainsail. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. If you like what I'm doing, please feel free to subscribe. I'm always looking for feedback, and I enjoy seeing people's comments and trying to help people out. Again, I hope you have a great day, and talk to you soon. Bye.